Dessa is here to terrorize. Dessa, the office dog, for those of you who don't know her, is here to terrorize the studio while we do our show. So if I lurch forward at any point, that's her doing some type of an assault. So we have an incredible guest with us today, Brian Auld from the Rays. He's actually a friend as well. He's a little incognito with the beard going on there. But I'm going to talk a little bit about COVID first, give some updates, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the Rays. So the case update, we have 24,891 total cases in Hillsborough County. That includes 260 deaths. Although our cases have grown dramatically, we have been able to, because of some advances in medical care, to keep the number of deaths relatively low. But each one of those numbers represents an individual, a human life, someone's family, someone's friend or loved one. And so we're working hard every day to make sure that we keep those numbers as low as we possibly can. In Florida, 379,619 total cases, 5,459 deaths. So in Hillsborough County, we've had just under 200,000 people tested for COVID-19, and we've had a 12.8% positivity rate, which is still over 10. You know, we're looking to be able to bring that number down, the positivity rate down under 10%, but that is gradually coming down. We were up close to 20% at one point, and so we are gradually bringing that percentage down, which is good. When you look at the charts, it's difficult to feel good about that because of the number of the dramatic increase in the cases, but we are starting to see that flattening, and then hopefully we'll start on a downward trajectory no matter how slow. We are still trying to recover from that surge in the 25 to 34-year-old that came right after the bars were opened. The bars were shut back down in short order. We also have had an issue with some bars that are acting as if they were restaurants and are staying open. And so we sent a letter out. I mentioned this on last week's Facebook Live, sent a letter out from the city attorney's office reminding these establishments that they are to be closed and that they face the possibility of losing their liquor license. We have sent code enforcement and law enforcement out to do spot checks. They're going to continue doing that throughout the week and through the weekend. So everyone that owns a bar and has some ideas about opening that establishment, please think twice about that, because you're putting your liquor license in jeopardy. More importantly, you're putting individuals' lives in jeopardy, or at least in harm's way. So I know it's difficult. I know everyone's suffering. If we all follow the rules, then we'll all be able to get back up on our feet as a city, as a group, much, much more quickly. And to those bars, remember, you are eligible for the One Tampa relief. You can go to tampagov.org and fill out a one-page application and put your city business license in there. And if you qualify, and bars do qualify as being impacted by COVID-19, negatively impacted, you can receive a check for $2,000. I know $2,000 isn't a lot in the scheme of things for some people, but it's still $2,000. So let's make sure that you're going on. Even if you go on right now, we had a goal of 100 businesses in each of the city council districts, and we've hit that goal in a number of them, but we still have funding left over. So we're going to continue this program until the funding runs out, just so we can help. Also, it looks as if the state, once again, for a refresher, all of the CARES funding has gone to states, counties, and municipalities with 500,000 or more population. That means there's only one city in all of Florida that received CARES funding, and that was Jacksonville, which is the city in the county incorporated, and so, or combined. So we are moving forward, trying to, with this next round of funding, to get some of that to come to cities so that we'll be able to get some relief for our businesses and our residents. We have a great relationship with Hillsborough County. Hillsborough County got $265 million in CARES funding, and so they will have programs that will assist everyone in Tampa, Plant City, Temple Terrace, and unincorporated Hillsborough County. So make sure you go on Hillsborough County's website. They have what they call the R3 program, and there's a number of different, actually there's 3 programs that you can choose from, and you can apply for funding through that as well. So we're trying our best to get as much monetary relief as we can out into the community. So please stay connected. There's also around $150 billion left in the PPP funding. So if you have a small business, call your local community bank or savings and loan and ask them how you can apply. If you haven't yet, they should have navigators that can help you out with that. But there's funding still there to help individuals out. So if you call your bank and they can't help you out, keep calling banks until you find one that can help you out and can give you a hand. So again, there's relief out there. Sometimes you just got to look. And if you have any questions, give us a call and we will help you out as much as we possibly can. So let's get back to COVID-19 and the testing. We have expanded the testing both in location and in time frame. There's a new testing site out in the Town and Country area. The Raymond James has gone to 6 days a week testing, and then Lee Davis are supposed to increase the days of testing out at the Lee Davis Center within the city of Tampa as well. So make sure you go on the Hillsborough County's website. You can sign up for a testing appointment on your computer, or you can call them up. Either way, you can also, through your insurance, you can order a test kit and you can get tested that way as well. We're also looking at the pool testing. We can bring entire families, swab everybody, put all of that into one testing kit. It's negative, that's great. Positive, then we go through individual tests. So we're looking at a lot of advancements. Another conversation that I have been involved in with USF Medical and some of the hospitals is the antigen testing, and that is a much quicker way to find out if you may be positive for COVID-19. So a lot of advancements being made in the treatment of COVID-19 as well. Here in city of Tampa, they're using the different techniques, the proning, putting people on their stomachs and then forcing the heated, humidified oxygen in, and then using drugs like remdesivir, and then the plasma from individuals that have antibodies. So a lot of advancements are being made there, so people don't have to go on ventilators. That's keeping our community and our residents alive, which is absolutely wonderful. Also had a meeting yesterday with our new school superintendent, Addison Davis, and he is working very, very hard in concert with the school board about what the reopening of the schools looks like. And so there'll be some announcements coming on that as well. We want to make sure that all of our kids are going back to a safe learning environment when they go back to school. And that, without a doubt, is going to be the start date is going to be delayed. So I think that is everything that I have here. And now I get to introduce my friend Brian Auld. He begins his 15th season. How is that possible? Wow, 15th season. Oh my gosh.
Been a long time.
I know, it has been a long time. That's wonderful. So he's getting his 15th season with the Rays and his 6th in his current position as the team president. In his tenure as team president, Auld has brought a renewed focus to the Rays mission to energize the community through the magic of Rays baseball. by redoubling the Rays commitment to its community and its employees. And you guys do an amazing job in the community, without a doubt. Prior to Brian's promotion to team president, he oversaw a wide spectrum of the team's business operations, including human resources, information technology, marketing, ticket sales, fan experience, and stadium operations departments. That sounds like a one-man band there. Before joining the Rays, Brian attended Harvard Business School, where he earned his MBA, focusing on managing human capital, marketing, and finance. He was born in Berkeley, California, received his bachelor's degree in economics and master's in education from Stanford, where he also captained the lacrosse team. Very impressive. He and his wife Molly reside in St. Petersburg and are proud parents of 2 daughters, Lucy and Maya, and a son, Jack. So that's it's always so interesting to learn about individuals. I didn't know that you were an overachiever. That is incredible.
I don't ooze a whole lot of overachieving, but I appreciate you running through all those credentials. Thank you.
There you go. No problem whatsoever. So I talked to Brian before we started, and the individual here who drafted the script for today is a fan of a baseball team other than the Rays. And so he put a little smart aleck intro here, and I assured Brian that not only would I not read it, but that he would be terminated tomorrow. So we can't have anything but Rays fans in our employment, without a doubt. So what do you think about the shortened season?
It's going to be wild. Like everything else that's going on right now, it's going to be new and different. We're still trying to wrap our arms around it, but when you're playing a 60-game season instead of 162 games, each game takes on a level of importance that's unlike anything we've ever experienced. And we're also only playing teams in the American League East and the National League East to try to reduce travel. And so it's a whole different ballgame, to make a terrible pun. But if the Rays have demonstrated anything over the years, I think it's that our management team, our front office, are going to be well equipped to manage the challenge, and probably are going to do it better than anybody else, including whatever team that former employee of yours was cheering for.
That's right. That's right, without a doubt. And that's one of the things I think that everybody recognizes and respects about the Rays, is really that grit and determination. And so, as you said, if anybody can adjust to it, it's going to be the Rays, and you guys will show everybody else how to do it. So what do you think about the experience of, without fans in the seats? I watched one of the late night shows the other night, and it's just without having the fans out there and the interaction. What's your feeling about it? And then how about the players? What's their response?
Everybody's getting used to it, that's for sure. And in some ways, the league starts tomorrow night, and the Rays opener is on Friday night. Please tune in on Fox Sports Sun. It's a great television product. We've got some crowd noise that we're putting into the stands or into the stadium. That makes it feel a little more normal. It also makes it a little harder for players to hear what teammates are saying to one another. That's a challenge that is kind of unique to this situation. But it's certainly going to be different. And so, we're encouraging you to take a photo of yourself and send it our way, and we'll put a cutout of you in the seats. Mayor, I hope you're going to do that yourself.
Oh, I am, without a doubt.
And we're going to try to, make it as normal as we can, which I think is kind of what we're all trying to do right now. It's You can't ignore that this virus is impacting pretty much every single thing that we do, but we've taken a whole slew of precautions to try to bring baseball back without risking anybody's personal health. And I think we've kind of managed to thread that needle, and I'm really proud of our organization for all the effort it's taken to get us to this point.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too, one of the many things I love about the Rays, is just the creativity. And so to see the different ideas that will come about clearly, as far as the team experience, pretty much a 180 here without the fans. That's, that sort of makes a great deal of the experience, but things like having the cutouts. And then also, how about this? I know that the Rays have always had an incredible TV audience. And so I'm sure you guys have run the numbers on the actual in-stadium fans versus the TV fan experience. And then what if any, do you expect to see in an increase in the TV audience? And have you guys done those numbers?
Yeah, we certainly hope so. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that our television audience has dwarfed our in-person audience, and in a non-corona year, that's something we need to work on. But
There
for
you go.
now, it could prove to be an advantage for us. And again, we want everybody to tune in, and I'd encourage you to, especially around a day like opening day, which in some ways is a holiday for our country, around baseball or national pastime, to grab a bunch of friends and jump on a Zoom call and watch the game together and try to,
Mhm.
make those socially distant connections around baseball wherever you can. Please follow us on social media, our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram accounts, and anywhere else. We're there. And we're trying to promote those connections along the way because we
Mhm.
know that that's going to be missing in the seats, but we hope to continue to provide it to our community. And again, this should be fun. We appreciate that baseball is not the most important thing going on in the world right now, but for a few hours a day to be able to take a little break and watch a team that you care about compete its heart out, and we're going to be good. By the way, we've got a heck of a squad. I hope it gives a little bit of a respite to everybody who I know is like me, dealing with just challenges they never thought they'd face day in and day out and hour after hour. And I'm sure that goes for you and everybody working at the city too, man.
Hmm. And then, as you said, just a little bit of time to come together, to make it innovative, do a Zoom, do something, and watch while you can connect with your friends and your family, because I don't know if there is a more social sport than baseball. That seems to always be part of the definition of baseball, is that it's something that just brings groups together. And so let's try to do that even though it's remote. And also just to have any kind of a respite right now, to be able to see some type of athletic activity, other than I go into a local restaurant or go to pick up dinner, and they're playing like Super Bowl 1983 or something. So I think we're all ready to see our Rays back in action, and an actual game that we don't know the outcome of.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah, without a doubt. Now, here's something I get asked all the time, and I'm sure nobody ever asks you, but we don't really talk as much as we used to. Just the way things, everybody's so busy dealing with this COVID-19 in your particular lane of responsibility, that a lot of those past meetings and conversations and things have not happened as much as the community thinks they've been happening. So what are the updates on the team's plans? Is Montreal still on the table?
Well, yeah, of course. We got to figure out where we're playing in 2028. We don't have a home then, and that date's not changing because of the virus. But at the same time, I think for reasons that should be obvious to anyone, leaders like yourself in Tampa and the mayor of Montreal and the many municipalities that are going to have to come together and try to solve the sister city concept are otherwise occupied right now. And
Mm-hmm.
certainly we've been 100% laser focused on executing safe games and keeping our staff and our players safe, both at the Rowdies and the Rays right
Mm-hmm.
now. So I don't know if there's a burner behind the back burner, but I think that's where things sit right now. And I look forward to us all getting through this and partnering and working together along the way. And I'm really proud of what our organization has done on both sides of the bay to help our communities through that. At which point we can then again turn our attention to figuring out the long-term solution for the Rays Stadium issue.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, please keep your eyes focused on Friday. The Rays are going to open up against the Blue Jays. We're going to have Charlie Morton on the mound and a team that's coming off a 96 win season. Obviously, we will not be able to repeat 96 wins because we're only playing 60 games. But we expect to compete for a World Series, and that's where I'd ask all of our fans to place their attention. And you and me and everybody else will get back to figuring out where the Rays are going to be long term just as soon as we've got time to do so.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good promise right there.
But yeah,
So
I
what?
will vouch for the fact that you and I have had no secret meetings in the last couple months, socially distanced or otherwise.
There you go. All right. So let's talk about the team. So, what players are standing out? What are your predictions moving forward? What's the bullpen look like?
We look good. We were very sad we've lost Colin Poche for the season to
Yeah.
an injury. He was a key part of our bullpen. But we've got a lot of depth. That's one of the things the Rays organization has been built on for a long time, and run prevention is the key. We think our pitchers are going to be very effective. We're working on the theory that it takes the hitters a little longer to get used to great pitching than vice versa. And so, with Blake Snell and Charlie Morton and Tyler Glass now at the top of our rotation and a whole slew of outstanding arms behind them, we think we're going to be able to piece together a very formidable pitching force. And as I think we've had for many years now, with the best defense in the game behind them, anchored, of course, by Kevin Kiermaier. And then, we had some injuries last year. People forget that Glass now and Snell were hurt for a good chunk of the year, and nonetheless, we had that 96-win season. We've supplemented by adding a Japanese player named Yoshi Tsutsugo. Hunter Renfro's on the squad this year, and so we've added some good power and we think really solidified the offense. And again, we know the Yankees aren't going anywhere. We know the Astros are going to continue to be a force, but we felt really good about taking them to the brink a season ago in a 5-game series, and I'm excited to see what this team does. I think we're going to be very, very dangerous, and I can tell you that the vibe in the clubhouse is overwhelmingly positive.
Excellent, excellent. That is so good to see. It's so exciting. So, what do you think? You think there's going to be fans back in the seats before the end of the season?
I sure hope so, but for us to make that happen, we need your help and everybody else's help too. We've got to see spread rates go down. We need to see
Yes.
that 12% get under 10, like you mentioned in
Yes.
your morning comments. I mean, much of this is out of our control, and we will put safety first no matter what. We're going to work with the local municipalities. We're going to work with the state of Florida. MLB has some outstanding experts who are going to help us walk through all of that. We were able to get about 150 fans at our first 2 Rowdies games since returning, and I want to thank Ralph's Mob and the Skyway Casuals. Those fans came to those games and did not stop cheering the entire time, and made it have the feel of a packed house. And while we certainly don't expect to have 25,000 people in Tropicana Field anytime soon, you can imagine a safe, socially distanced way that families could watch the game, have masks on whenever they're not in their seats, and again, get the chance to do something fun. I think we're all really trying to figure out how we can get back to normal while maintaining safety standards, and that's where we are. And look, the most important thing we can do to get us there is stay home when you can, wear your mask, be careful, do everything the mayor's telling you to do, please, because that's going to help us get all of our restaurants, bars, and stadiums back open sooner than later.
Without a doubt, you're singing my song on that one. So have you guys talked about with MLB, the spacing of individuals, and will it look like a phased reopening where we'll try with this percentage of fans, and then, if those kinds of conversations occurred, or are you just waiting until we get this nationally down to a particular number of cases?
I think we're going to see different ballparks open at different rates. That's just my prediction. But I will tell you this: the league has been very clear: no fans for at least the beginning of the season in any ballpark. So we make sure that we can execute, keep our players healthy, monitor the testing, and learn as much as we can. And that when we do start to allow fans to come into ballparks, if we do, it's going to be dependent on a whole slew of factors, and we're going to receive a lot of guidance along the way, and we're going to be talking to a whole lot of people. Right now, nobody is spending a whole lot of time on that issue. We're making sure that we get through our opening days, our first few games, our first road trips, and that all that travel is safe. And so, for the time being, we'll ask everybody, hey, tune in on television. It's going to be fantastic, and trust us that nobody wants you to be watching baseball in person more than we do. And when that time comes, you can rest assured that it's going to be done safely.
There you go. Well, fair enough. And that sounds wonderful. So let's talk. You brought it up a couple of times, and you talked about the fans at the Rowdies, and prior to coming on, you and I were talking about what a great experience that is at the Rowdies games. It's such a family fun event, and then that diehard band that plays and screams and throughout the entire match is nothing short of incredible. So let's just talk about the Rowdies and what their season looks like. As you indicated earlier, they've played 2 games. And what kind of a team are you putting on the field there? And what does their season look like? And then now that you say 150 fans, then will we be able to build upon that as our numbers go down in the community? Because I told you, even if you're not a soccer fan, we are so starved for any type of an athletic event right now. I think everybody just wants to go see something positive.
Yeah, well, and that's great, and I appreciate you saying so. The Rowdies are a great product, and they're a lot of fun, and we hope to add fans as we go. We are 2-0-1 right now, 2 wins and a tie, so undefeated through our first 3 games. We got 1 game in under our belt before the country shut down. The USL, which is the league we belong to, is realigned, and so there's now 4 teams in our division. And again, we're doing all that to reduce travel. But we've got a whole slew of new players on the Rowdy this year, and like every year, at least as long as I've been involved with the team, Neil Collins and Lee Cohen, who run the organization, Neil's the coach and Lee's the president, have put a really exciting, attacking, high-pressure soccer product on the field. And the team is gelling together in a really great way, and we're just excited to see what they do. It's going to be a long, competitive season. We've been able to get a couple of those games on a Fox Sports Sun too. The rest are on ESPN Plus. I'd encourage you to check it out. I mean, it's a really fun team. They are great players. It's high quality soccer, and again, we will make sure everybody knows when it's safe to come back out to the Al Lang Stadium right on the waterfront here in St. Petersburg and experience a game in person. But until then, please pay attention and use it as a break from, again, what we know is a challenging everyday environment we're all living in.
Without a doubt. All right, now we're going to get to social media questions, and then you can once again ask everyone to make sure that they are following your team. So this is Joey via Twitter. Already did. Ask him about the stadium, and he's got hashtag raise an e-board. So we know where Joey's standing. All right, Joey, we'll keep you. You will be the very first person we call when we finish this stadium deal to bring the Rays to the city of Tampa. All right,
thanks, Joey. Appreciate the interest, of course.
There you go. All right, so we want everybody to follow the Rays on social media, but more importantly, we want everyone to tune in when the Rays are playing. As Brian said, invite your friends, have a virtual game watching party, and make it social, make it fun. We have an incredible product in our team, and we're gonna be incredible this year, even though it's been cut in half. We'll make those 60 games the best 60 games anybody's ever played, right, Brian?
That's right. Thank you.
That's right.
Raise up, mask up, everybody.
There you go. And I also want to just underscore something that Brian said before, that how the Rays want to be a good community partner. I can tell you that whenever we've had issues in the community, and that means the entire Tampa Bay area, not just the city of Tampa or St. Petersburg or Pinellas, Hillsborough, the Rays are always among the very first to reach out and to say, how can we help? And when we put together our One Tampa relief package, Brian was one of the first individuals that called to say, how can we help out? What can we do? And so I thank you personally, Brian, and I thank the Rays for being not only an incredible sporting franchise, but also just what you guys do in the community, because your heart is definitely in it. So thank you.
That means the world to us.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And if no more questions, all right, no more questions. So everybody remember, you heard from Brian Auld, so that's an order, wear your mask. I heard again a statistic last night on the radio, said if 95% of individuals wore masks solid for 2 weeks, we could end this virus. There you go. So I got my
available at the team store.
TPA, that's right. So you guys make sure you get your raised mask. I said if we make it fashionable, then that will be, people always ask about enforcement. I said we shouldn't have to enforce it. Everybody should wear it for their own personal benefit and for the benefit of the rest of our community. So with that, I will remind everyone, come here, Dessa. Dessa just jumped up. Remind everyone to stay safe, remain calm, stay home if you can at all, and wear your masks. All right. Thanks, Brian. Stay healthy.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. You guys take care. Dessa says, here's to all the polls. Take care.